Hello, Pagan Pages readers. Robin Fennelly here, and I thought this month I would try something a little different. I've decided to do a video recording for the book review that I'm going to be talking to you about in a few moments, and I also am doing a video presentation for my magical arts column this month as well. My thought is that with COVID-19 and more people having to stay home and relying on the video component, that this would be a nice way to just kind of be up close and personal and spend a little time together in sharing what we love to do and who we are. So today what we're going to talk about is the book review that I am doing on a book called dun, 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 and I'm going to share my screen here with you. It's a wonderful book called Your Goddess Year, and it's by the author Skye Alexander. You can just see from the cover itself when you look at this book, it's a beautifully illustrated book. It's small, very compact. Even though it has 52 goddesses, it's a week-by-week guide to invoking the divine feminine. It's full, it's heavy, and the paper that they used for this, because there are so many beautiful prints of the goddesses within it, is just absolutely a feast. Whether you want to even read through what it is that is suggested for you each week doesn't really matter. It's just a feast for the eyes. So Your Goddess Year is published by Adams Media, which is an imprint of Simon & Schuster. And you can purchase it on Amazon. I have the link here for you as well. When I went to the Amazon page, something lovely that they offered was from the publisher, was a little extract from it. And these are just some examples of the goddesses that you'll find between the pages. They are showing 4 of them and the weeks that they are representing. And what I loved about this book, and I've reviewed and I've read many of Skye Alexander's books, is the approach that is taken towards all of these nuances and the varying types of practice that one can have. This book in particular is not just feminine friendly, let's put it that way. This book is more a feast, a way of connecting to the feminine polarity itself. It has less to do with the biological gender, and it has more to do with what each of these goddesses represent, what their energies are. Now, of course, these goddesses are being portrayed as anthropomorphic images. They have archetypes surrounding them, which is why they look different. They are associated with different cultures and all of those things. But what we also have to remember, and if you actually were to do the week by week, and I am starting to do it, but I did just, receive the book about a month ago. So I'm not very far into it yet. But if you do work through the entire 52 weeks, what you'll come out with is a very solid and deeply connected understanding of what that feminine polarity is and how it can be expressed, not just in one singular way, but in each of these 52 weeks, you have an opportunity to explore not only visually a goddess that looks different from the one that you had the week before or even months prior to that, but you also have a differing type of energy around that particular deity. And even if the energy feels slightly different, or the semantics that Skye uses in this seem as though it's a redundancy, if you look up correspondences for goddesses, you're going to find 50 or more that are listed under healing, another 50 or more that are listed under beauty, another 50 or more that are listed under prosperity, so on and so on and so on. What this particular book does, Your Goddess Year, is remind you that inherent within each of these small categories that we tend to box ourselves into. Inherent within that are different permutations, different and diverse ways of being within that same thing. So a healing goddess that may be represented in week 2 is not going to be the same type of goddess that is represented in week 22, and not going to be the same type of goddess that is represented in week 52. So this book in particular, with the beauty of the imagery itself, just sitting and meditating on these images puts you in the presence of these deities. So what I did here for you also is I copied the contents for you so that you just had an idea of how many, 52, obviously, goddesses there are, and the different goddesses that there are to choose from. You know, this is just a handful of goddesses that are, you know, part and parcel of any and multiple pantheons. But you'll see some, you know, very, very familiar ones here: Athena, Brigid, Breed, Lilith, Hecate, Isis. You know, you'll see some very familiar ones, but then you'll also see some that I would venture to guess are not quite so much in the mainstream: Pachamama, Oshan, Pele. We all know about Pele, but what do you really know about Pele? And even Parvati. Parvati is very prominent in the Indian traditions, but we don't really tend to hear about her as much as we might hear about Tara, or we might hear about Shakti. So this gives you a beautiful selection of being able to interact personally with goddesses that are of multiple pantheons, goddesses that you may not ever have come across before. And it also gives you an opportunity to explore, if you are really called to one of these deities, to explore what that might look like. You know, who and what type of energy does that particular goddess have to offer that may be a little bit different from what you are used to exploring and what you're used to working with. I really found this book to be one that could be returned to many, many times. And I found that to be true with many of Skye Alexander's books. You know, she writes in such a way that it is very relatable, but she also packs into just even a paragraph a multitude of nuances, of semantics, of carefully worded, or it seems that way to me, carefully worded explanations or introductions, and I'm carefully measuring my words as well, you know, so that it would be something that would appeal to anyone, regardless of your tradition, regardless of where you are on the path, regardless of anything, quite frankly. So, your goddess year. This is one that I would highly recommend for you. I'm just going to put on my glasses here for a moment, so you'll have to excuse the glare that we're going to get here from those glasses going on. I wanted to just give you a little bit of an overview of what you're going to expect when you look at each of these weeks. So, for example, I have open here the week that is for Fortuna, June 19th through the 25th. So each of the goddesses that you encounter for the week, you're going to have a section that's entitled Dates for Inviting Her. So you have an idea of the timeline that you're using, the week that you're using. And Skye has aligned these very beautifully with things that are already, you know, possibly either holidays or sabbats or something in a calendar somewhere, a spiritual calendar somewhere. You will find energy that is very, very supportive of this particular goddess's energy. There's also a section called Her Story. So it gives you enough background. You can always find more, which is really cool to do, but it gives you just enough. It also gives you little added ins here, little balloon, I guess you could say, in here, balloons, little balloons in here, things such as friends and foes of Fortuna, or where to seek her. Might sound kind of silly, but in this case for Fortuna, what Skye has here is where to seek her, and it says ideally you'd want to travel to Rome, or better yet, to Palestrina, to commune with the goddess, but for most of us that's not possible. Instead, you can find her presiding over fields rich with healthy crops, groves of trees, heavy with ripe fruit, and other places that reveal nature's bounty. So I like the idea also that what she's giving you is, yeah, if you want to go to the grassroots and you have the money and the time, or you might even actually live in that locale, this is definitely where she was worshipped, where you would find her, where her energy is possibly most prevalent. But this is also for those of us who don't or are not able to do that, where else can I find this goddess's energy? And then it has a section that is entitled Reasons to Invite Her. It's very important that you know why you are calling to a divine presence, what the reasoning is for that, and also how to invite her. And so this gives you some ideas for each of the goddesses that are contained within this, different things that you can do that are specific to their energy, but also would be things that even after that week is finished, you might perhaps want to continue on with that. So for instance, how to invite her, and this is still relating to Fortuna. This is about having an image of the Wheel of Fortune card. She's suggesting you can download it from the internet. Don't even have to have a tarot deck yourself. A pen or marker, a $1 bill, gives you all the ingredients, and then gives you a spell, a ritual. Not necessarily calling it that, but you know, it's an act of devotion, which I would say is something of a ritual. It is invoking, and it is employing a lot of intention. It has the thought process and intention in mind that you are going to manifest a connection to this particular deity. So we could also say it's a spell as well. And the book is like that for the entirety of its writing. So, Your Goddess Year. Highly recommend this book. Check it out. Check out Skye's other books as well. And I hope you enjoyed this slightly different version of a book review. See you again next month, and if you are so inclined, please check out my column Magical Arts. That will also be another video offering, as well as Peeking in the Shadows, which is regular writing that will be published in June's issue, and a couple other book reviews as well. Many blessings to you. I hope you all stay well and safe, and hopefully I'll see you again soon. Bye.